Hello, everyone, and welcome to All the Cards on the Table. My name's Chloe, and I work with astrology, card divination, and energy healing. So as you can see, my hands are moving around right now. This is the energies that I channel through my body that help with subtle energy healing. This is an all 12 signs video for Mercury going into Aquarius on the 11th of February. I will be pulling 6 cards for each of the signs. I'll pull a card for Mercury's journey through Capricorn, Mercury conjunct Pluto, which will be happening the day before Mercury goes into Aquarius on the 10th of February. And I'll pull a card for Mercury's journey through Aquarius, and then how these energies will manifest in the long term. I'll also probably pull 2 clarifying cards, one from a numerology deck and one from the First Light Tarot. I'll put all the decks in the description if any of them catch your eye and you want to bring them into your practice. And for each sign, I will be breaking down the astrology based on the rising sign. This is the first house in your natal chart. The astrology will match that. But you can also look out for your sun and your moon and any other planet or point in your chart and receive what resonates. Often from personal practice and practice of others, looking at all the different signs. We have every sign in our natal chart. We hold space for all of those energies, that you can still resonate and take the messages that come through and apply it to that area of your life that comes up in your particular personal chart. So Mercury going into Aquarius. But first, before I talk about that, I just want to, in honor of Mercury, Mercury is the road opener. It's all about communication and flow state and movement and transference of information, goods, people. It very much likes to open the roads for you, and I just wanted to light this road opener candle that I have. And if you can see, it's at the point of these 2 selenite rods. One's a rod and one's a knife. In honor of, sometimes if you want to make an offering to Mercury, Wednesday today is Mercury's day. Go stand at crossroads and ask for assistance from Mercury. Traditionally, Mercury isn't a positive or a negative planet. It can switch from one or the other. It's very fluid and can be neutral. Depends where Mercury's hanging out and who Mercury's hanging out with. We also have an orange here as an offering to Mercury, as that's something that you can offer whatever you like to the gods, depending on what your practice is. But I like to put an orange out for Mercury. There's also this strange squiggle drawing that and one of the other things that I do when I channel is I free draw, and this I asked for the message from Mercury in Aquarius to come through, and this is what happened. I've never been very artistic. I have what's called aphantasia, where I don't have any visuals in my mind's eye. I was always quite good at copying, but I didn't necessarily have that imaginative space. So it's been quite a fun journey doing the free drawings for the energies. I do them for the new and full moons and put them on my Instagram. Please go check out that Instagram. I do lots of different posts about the energies, my personal experiences with what's going on, and just more information that might be easier to digest than watching a video. I want to say thank you to everyone watching and everyone who's subscribed and hit that like button. It's really appreciated. YouTube is I wouldn't say out to get the tarot readers, but there's certainly been some strange goings on. It's happening across the board. I'm quite a small channel, so it's not necessarily affecting me as yet, but I do appreciate all the interaction on the channel, as that helps boost the algorithm. And if anything resonates in this video and you feel like someone might benefit from hearing what's come out, what's been channeled, please do interact in the channel and share with anyone who you feel like it might resonate with. And yeah, Do check out the description boxes in any of my videos. I tend to put information in there and do a bit more of a breakdown. Probably less so on this video, but definitely for my lunation videos. And yeah, let's begin. So Mercury, as I talked about, communication in all ways. Mercury's been in retrograde in Capricorn, helping us revisit what it is that we want to apply long term in the physical world. And it's just come out of its shadow period and is heading into new territory. We're being able to perhaps move a bit smoother in the way that we communicate and talk to one another. There may be less frustration. We would have learned quite a lot with the retrograde. Retrogrades are great periods of time where we get to redo and go over and revise things that we've already experienced in order to get rid of that which, you know, isn't working and work on and build. You know, whenever you do something, doing it over and over and over again, that's when you start to really streamline what it is that you need to do. So, as I was talking about before, Mercury moves into Aquarius, it's going to hit Pluto. And Pluto's this deep, transformative, collective energy planet, traditionally the god of the underworld. In Greek mythology, Mercury was the only god that could travel both to the mortal world, the world of the gods, and the underworld, and be able to bring back messages and essentially Mercury's just running around talking to everybody and passing messages along and wanting that information to get to the right ears. And so I have this shamanic oracle deck. It's quite hard to shuffle, so I didn't shuffle on camera. But I just wanted to get some cards for the energies of Mercury in Capricorn and hitting Pluto, and then Mercury moving into Aquarius. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. It's the third and collective earth sign. It's about long-term traditions. That can be linked to hierarchical systems, or it can be linked to the systems that predate those social structures in terms of the physical body, in terms of how we interacted with one another, you know, that predate that civilizational aspect. And so I looked at the bottom of the deck before I shuffled, and this was on the bottom of the deck, and I was like, well, that seems really obvious for Pluto, but I'm going to shuffle and see what comes out. And no cards were wanting to come out. I shuffled for about 2 minutes, and then I turned the deck over and looked at the bottom of the deck. This was still at the bottom of the deck, even though I'd been shuffling loads, so it couldn't have been. And it felt right to take that and these other cards that came out. So this is this is a lot of earth energy. This is linking into Mercury through Capricorn. We have the gatherer. As I was talking about, Mercury's traveling quickly between everybody, gathering information, gathering resources, because we're going through that earth sign, that long-term collective earth sign of what are you gathering to sustain you in the long term? How are you going to operate in a way that has a long-term effect in terms of sustainability? What information are you gathering for that part of your life? And then we pulled Pachamama, which is an earth goddess, and fully embracing, you know, as I was saying, Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's a night sign, which is traditionally a feminine sign or a yin sign. When I talk about feminine and masculine, I'm just talking about energies. We hold these within all of us. But this is an earth goddess, and it was really calling to say that we are all her children and there is love there. And wanting us to be able to gather what we need in order to survive. And then we have the lower world. I'm just going to read this out because this was very appropriate for Pluto. Pluto is also about what's underground, and the hidden mysteries of the physical structure of Earth, especially Pluto going through Capricorn. You know, what resources do we have there? What you know, our ancestors go into the Earth. Pluto's, you know, the underworld, the land of the dead, depending on what your practice is. I'm just going to read out the essence of the lower world. The lower world holds the hidden treasures of humanity. It is a place of rich and fruitful darkness where we can find the disowned parts of ourselves and the abandoned aspects of our psyches. The lower world is the place of our ancestors, where we discover the gifts and lessons from the past. It is the realm of the collective unconscious. Here we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy, our source of personal power. That's so funny. I'm reading that. I meant to say at the beginning of the video, if you can hear drilling going on, I do apologize. I think my next door neighbor's doing some work, but drilling is very much linked into Pluto, that digging deep into the underworld, transforming and turning things over. So particularly appropriate that yeah, my next door neighbor's doing some drilling. The medicine. Are you one of those people who do not like to face the past? Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be embraced. The only way to become unstuck is to honor everything that has transpired in your life. Reflect on the lessons learned and move on. If you bear witness to your past and learn its lessons, it will stop haunting you. As you embrace its gifts, you will recover a missing part of your soul. This really struck a chord with me because this is very much my practice. I recently just posted 2 things on Instagram that really go into that, and I talk on my channel a lot about integration, a lot of holding space for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how astrology has really allowed a space for acknowledging all the different parts of yourself. And the more that we hold space and compassion and understanding for that darkness, for those traumas, for those triggers, the more they feel seen, the less they feel the urge to act out. The more you create that space to be in the now, the space for that abundance to come in. And by abundance, I mean that quantum field of opportunities, how anything is possible when we are truly aware of who we are, where we've come from, the lessons that we've learned. Every terrible thing that's happened to me in my life, I have been able to find a lesson, an understanding, a space of compassion for whoever was involved, whatever the situation was, and being able to use that to grow and evolve and change. And when you do that, you release that weight, that sense of regret, that sense of resentment, that sense of pain, that sense of grief. All these emotions are incredibly valid in the human experience, and we are here to experience them and transform. This existence we are in is all about life, death, and rebirth, the cycle of the universe. It's unavoidable. Change is always in motion. So these were such appropriate cards that came through in that reading. And then I'm just going to pause to have a drink. Apologize. You know, we have Mercury, which is the Coyote card, and the first thing before I read the description was trickster. Mercury is known for being having a trickster energy, this ability to be fluid, this ability to move. And you know, sometimes there's this sense of, is the messenger passing on what it is that it's supposed to be passing on, or does the messenger have its own agenda? Again, this is going back to Mercury typically not being good or bad, in terms of a benefic or a malefic. Saturn and Mars are malefics, and Venus and Jupiter are benefics. But there's lots of different vibrational levels. I'm not saying these things are bad. I'm a big fan of Mars and Saturn. But Mercury has that ability to how to say it, to play tricks, to make you think, to make you question, to make you wonder. There's a free spiritedness to Mercury that you know, is this, so I'm just trying to find the description, because so we have, you know, we've got 3 Mercury retrogrades this year happening in earth signs. And I'll just read the description. The coyote is a symbol of the sacred trickster. And this made me laugh because that was the first thing that popped into my head. Having not used this deck, I've only used this deck a couple of times, so I didn't know that was in there. The one who provides detours for growth and understanding. Detours, that is the retrograde. That is this motion that we do when we think we're heading in the right way, but we actually need that detour in order to learn. There's something on that detour that is the missing jigsaw piece for us to truly move forward. So this provides detours for growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. The Coyote brings the energy of divine deception to set you free from the shackles of that which doesn't serve you. Sometimes it appears that you will get everything you want, only to find the Coyote brings you the opposite of what you had hoped for. The lessons offered by the Coyote may first appear confusing, but they are most sacred and always for your higher good. So again, quite appropriate energy coming through for Mercury moving over Pluto, and the retrogrades are all happening in Earth signs this year. I think they were between air and earth signs last year. So this is really asking us to put into the physical world the things that we're learning, and communication in the physical world can be a bit more like there's physical obstacles in your way. Things are stopping you from being able to move forward, that it isn't the same as, say, if it's happening in an air sign, which is more mental thoughts, ideas, collective ideas, if that makes sense. And then we have moving. This deck is quite a powerful deck. It was given to me at Christmas by a very dear magical friend of mine. And these were the cards that wanted to come out for Mercury moving into Aquarius. Aquarius is the third and final air sign. This is about collective ideas, higher perspective, thinking outside of the boundaries, but looking into what's within the boundaries and breaking down what isn't working in order to try and help the collective on a whole. So we have wind here, very much with Aquarius. We are able to receive downloads in the air. I really recommend listening to frequencies, especially while we've had Saturn move through there, and we're going to have Pluto move into Aquarius. So we've been talking about Aquarius quite a lot in the last couple of videos. I really recommend play what makes your body feel happy. Get your body into a space that it is at peace with itself, and then you become more receptive to hearing things on the wind, hearing messages on the wind. With Mercury going into Aquarius, maybe that when you're out for a walk in the fresh air, that ideas come to you quicker than they would normally. And we also have the eagle here. This is all about the higher perspective, being able to see all the eco-structures and the goings on below, rather than looking at, say, just one spot in front of you. This is having a broader perspective. The eagle is often linked into spirit and having a higher perspective, and this came up in my last reading, looking at the feathered serpent, which is bringing in that serpent energy, that grounded energy, and not shaming it, and interacting it with the eagle, which represents spirit. So combining those two things is one of the blessings that I feel humankind have in order to transform and really be a true representation of the utter magic that we really are. And then we've got the Council. I was talking about collective thoughts, looking after the collective truly. Aquarius is about finding collective truths that are universal and touch on everybody. Now, the Council gives the idea of there being lots of voices heard and all coming together and being able to be listened to, and being able to find wise counsel during this time with Mercury going through Aquarius. So as I was talking about Pluto and Mercury, this conjunction, this is bringing intense conversation, intense mental processes, and deep insight. There's a forensicness about Pluto. This is about digging deep into the things we're afraid to look at, the dead, the decaying, the shame, the shadow, and bringing these things to light. This Mercury's often around this time when we've had Mercury touch Pluto on a collective mundane level. This is when information comes to light. Stuff that really wanted to be hidden by certain groups comes out into the open. So this is about speaking the forbidden, that which wanted to be hidden but really does need to come to light. It's also it could be a time in your life when your beliefs have been broken down, the beliefs that weren't really serving you, those sort of comfortable habits that we may have been in. And this is a time for deep transformation on a mental level. But again, it's in an earth sign, it's in the collective earth sign. This is about breaking traditions, breaking bonds, setting yourself free of the stuck energy that isn't helping you transform, which is all about what Pluto wants to do. Right, so I'm going to move into the first sign, which will be Aquarius. I always start with where the event's happening. And I'll put timestamps in so you can skip to the sign that you want to. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the messages that come through. Aquarius rising. How are you doing, Aquarius? So Mercury is going to be moving into your first house. This is your house. This is traditionally the house of self. This is your house. This is your body, your appearance, how other people see you. But it's also, it's the captain of the ship. As tends to be the lens in which your sun kind of navigates in the world. Not the captain of the ship, apologies, the steerman of the ship, the one doing the navigating, the one moving about in the world, your sort of embodied sense of what your sun wants to put across. So Mercury moving into the first house, having gone through the 12th, which we'll look at. The 12th is your hidden house. This is the house of self-undoing, and this is the house of mysteries. This is a space where it's a problem-solving house. So it's you're thinking about the concepts of who you are, and Pluto moving through there is deep transformation of all those things that might be not easily accessible to you. The hidden house can be a part of who you are that's very private to you, that maybe only you see. It may be a part of you that you see but find difficult to integrate with the rest of yourself, or you could not see it at all. There's all these possibilities, and whenever you have transits through the 12th house, this is really helping you and asking you to look to what it is that's deep within you. What programmings do you have? What structures do you have that might not serve, or that you want to explore and understand? The reason why it can be a house of grief and isolation is because you might feel grief at losing that part of who you are. You know that grief is a very strange beast, and it can happen in all sorts of different ways. Even if you are open to that transformation, we still have that grieving process of changing and being a different person. It's also a house of isolation, so you might because you might want to do either enforced or by choice, making that decision to take up meditation or go on a retreat to help understand yourself, or just be a little bit more private during that year, a little bit more less activity. So we're talking about Mercury's just going through there and helping you sort of establish what it is how you want to talk to that part of yourself in the long term. Now, I said I would pull 4 cards, and here they are. Let's see what order they want to be in. So the first card will be Mercury's journey through Capricorn. The second card will be Mercury conjunct Pluto and what energy is coming through there. And the third card will be Mercury in Aquarius. Sorry, I'm quite parched today, if you can hear me drinking. And the fourth card is how these come into play and manifest. We've also got Pluto moving into your first house in March. So Mercury moving into having conjunct Pluto and then moving into that 0 degrees will be bringing in messages from Pluto about how Pluto's journey in that space is going to look like. Let's just see what they want to do. I'm just trying this out. I haven't done this before, so do bear with me. I just wanted everyone to be able to get a better look at the cards because they're quite beautiful cards. Now I'm just going to wait a second, because sometimes they will want to move the energies will want to move the cards around, and I want you to have the reading that they want you to have. But it's looking like we've had the King of Wands move through. So this is Mercury in Capricorn. So this is giving you this sense of authority in what it is your motivations and passions are and your drive is. This is, as I said, we've had that retrograde there. So you've been revisiting those hidden parts of yourself. The 12th house is also a very magical house. My body started channeling during a 12th house perfection year, so there's a lot of, it's the occult, that which cannot be seen, that can come out in the 12th house, the hidden house. So we've got the King of Wands, which, as I said, there's this authority. The kings know what they're doing, and they're very confident in what they're doing. And wands represent drive, motivation, passion, movement. And we have this energy coming through at the end of Mercury going through that space of when we come to understand the parts of that may be missing or hidden from ourselves in the 12th house, we can then have more autonomy. Fire signs are very much about that autonomy and authenticity and independence, that the journey that you've been through with that is really helping give you a firm foundation to be able to act on your passions. You've been clearing things out that may have helped reveal what it is that you truly want. And then we have the Eight of the Wands, which is the fastest card in the deck. This represents speed. And so Mercury moving over that Pluto is bringing about deep fast transformation. And then we've got you've got quite a lot of wands here, considering we're dealing with earth and earth and air signs. We've got fire and water here. That's really interesting. So we've got a lot of passion, a lot of movement, a lot of momentum that's happening when Mercury meets Pluto. And great to have Pluto in the 12th house transit, because that's really helping you facilitate that deep internal transformation, looking at that which you might be scared to look at. This is really positive energy coming through. Okay. Let's see. Well, sometimes the energies do have a bit of trickster mentality. I'm just gonna so this way round makes a bit more sense, but so we've got the Ace of Wands for when Ace of Cups for when Mercury's moving into Aquarius, which is your first house. There's a new lease of life and emotionally of how you look at yourself. Having gone through that transformation with Mercury going through that space, you're in an overflowing state. You're able to, and you see this water, it's nourishing the ground below it, and we have the doves of peace. This being able to be at peace with yourself means that we can be in that emotional state of free flow, of being able to have that new lease of emotional love with yourself, because aces are linked into love. I don't often do love readings, but I do feel like, unless it's a personal reading, but I do feel that this is really because of these birds of peace, and we've got two of them, which is bringing in that sense of duality, bringing in the light and the dark, and integrating that, and then being in an abundant space, because we then have the Four of Wands, and this is celebration, but this is celebration having done the hard work. This is the harvest festival after the year's toil with the earth and bringing in the goods. This is working with people in a collective way and being in harmony with them. This is about long-term success in terms of working with the cycles. This is about teamwork and productivity. This is about working together. You've been integrating parts of who you are to work together. I just got quite an energetic release there. And the more that we do that, the more we understand ourselves, the more we can start a new cycle and really operate from a space of growth, a space of abundance. Like, look, there's all these people are enjoying themselves. There's lots of flowers. There's lots of beauty. There's these rolling hills in the background that seem full of life. There are people having fun. This is a real sense of laying in the groundwork and working with yourself in order for long term, especially with Pluto moving into your first, having had Saturn in there for the last 2.5 years. You've gone through a lot in terms of who you are and what you understand. Saturn's laid down the groundwork for Pluto to come in. You know, you've really worked out you've been doing the work of what's integral to you and how you see yourself and how you take care of yourself, and Pluto's coming through to then add on that layer of transformation that you've already been working on. I really recommend to people with big energies coming through, particularly with Saturn, Uranus or Pluto transits, to start doing the work early. And judging from these cards, you certainly have been. But if you haven't, that, you know, the sooner we start, the sooner things get into motion. Sit with Pluto, meditate on it, and try and see what comes up. I'll be doing a video on Pluto moving into Aquarius in the future. But this is a wonderful reading. So I'm going to pull a card from the Numerology deck. Sometimes it's a clarification card for one of the tarot cards that come up. Sometimes interesting creativity. You know, we do have all these wands. I was wondering about these wands. That's a very creative energy. A very inspirational energy, and it's something's going to come in that's this speed of bringing about a new sense of creativity. Can be creation energy. It's the life force within us. Just had an energetic release of that, and cultivating that. And again, the more that we understand the 12th house, that which is hidden, the thing. I'm going to read out for you again. I feel this is really appropriate with the 12th house, what was said, and it summed up beautifully what the message is coming through from Pluto with this energy in Capricorn moving into your first house. Here we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy, our source of personal power. So often if we've got things that are stuck in the way, that we can't quite tap into that total abundance that we already have within us. This is part of our journey. We're all going through it. And it's an ever constant cycle of moving and growing. You know, where does it say? Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be embraced. The only way to become unstuck is to honor everything that has transpired in your life, reflect on the lessons learned, and move on. If you bear witness to your past and learn its lessons, it will stop haunting you. As you embrace its gifts, you will recover a missing part of your soul. But particularly that part of, you know, they say in dream therapy that if you're having a nightmare and there's a monster in it, or however that comes up, is to try and consciously face the monster, because the monster is usually trying to reveal something to you that you need to heal and move forward with. It. The monster is not out to get you. It's out to, again, integration. I've certainly been having a lot of dreams recently that are showing me scenarios that before in dreams would really trigger me and really pain me. But it's showing me have a different response mechanism in those dreams. And that's after doing a hell of a ton of soul searching and self-analysis and questioning absolutely everything. That there is light at the end of the tunnel and the ability to, but I see, you know, you've got this speed card with creativity. So this is coming in quick and fast, especially no, I think we might have a Mercury and Pluto, because Pluto's going to go back into Capricorn for a lot of, sorry, I don't quite have that information off the top of my head. I was just wondering if there's going to be another Pluto and Mercury conjunction in Capricorn. I should probably go find that out, actually. Right, I'm just going to pull another card from the First Light Tarot deck. Again, this could be an overall theme or a clarification card for one of the cards. But yeah, this is super positive cards coming through for you, Aquarius. Even if feel like you've been going through it with Saturn going through your first. And yeah, I don't want anyone to be scared about Pluto moving into Aquarius. So that one just wanted to jump right out. So we have the first step card. You know, this could also be deeply linked into Pluto moving into Aquarius later on, that this is later on in the month, that this conjunction with Mercury is highlighting the first step of that journey that's going to help transform your creative power, your sense of who you are, the sense of self, and the speed at which that's going to come through is quite transformational. Just want to sit for a minute to see if anything else any other messages want to come through. Yeah, Pluto's making its first step into Aquarius in a very long time. So I can see, I talked about at the beginning of the video that Mercury's journey through this space and when it moves into Aquarius is sort of heralding what the energy of Pluto as well. So they're all combined here. Anyway, I really hope that helps, Aquarius, and just hold the cards up for you so you can see them all. And sometimes, it's good to get that energy come through in a visual sense. As I said, very positive cards, and all my love to you, Aquarius, and be well until we meet again. Capricorn rising, how are you doing? So we have Mercury moving into your second house, but Mercury's been going through your first, because I want to talk about Mercury in Capricorn. We're going to be, as I said at the beginning, pulling a card for Mercury in Capricorn, Mercury with Pluto, and then the Aquarius cards. So Mercury moving into your second house, and is your house of values. It's the house of your resources. These are the things that you care about. These are the things you want to take with you. That can be physical, emotional, spiritual, or mental. And this is your manifestation house. This is the house where you make your income. And you've had Saturn through there for the last 2.5 years, helping you reassess what's integral to you. And now we have Mercury is going to move through there, having brought in the lessons from its journey in Capricorn. And in Capricorn, that's your first house. That's your house of who you are. It's your body, it's your appearance, it's how other people see you. But it's very much your house. It's very personal to you. Okay, we wanted to put that knife there. And what was I talking about? It's the navigator of the ship. It's often, I call it the lens in which the sun operates through in the world. These cards are just flying out for you, Capricorn. And having Pluto go through there, helping you really transform who you are and what you are, helping you look into that darkness, look into the mysteries, that sacred space of the ancestors where the dead are. I very much feel everything all at once, that we have our ancestors living on, as well as the souls transmuting into the next journey. I don't see a space for discrimination. That this universe is very complex and very capable of holding space for a multitude of energies and possibilities. So I was talking about Pluto moving through there, and you've had Mercury go through there, helping you sort of reassess how you communicate with yourself, or what it is that you value and need to take forward. Okay, they wanted to give you an extra card. So let me just see how they want to move around. So we've got Mercury in Capricorn, and then we will have, so interestingly, we've got the knife wanting to cut through these burdens that you may have been facing, this struggle, this weight with I just want to see if that's for, they can be quite trickstery. We've got a lot of pentacles here, Capricorn. Okay, so your extra card feels like it's past energy that you've been working through, that perhaps that weight of Pluto moving through Capricorn, that's that feeling overloaded, feeling quite consumed, feeling perhaps a bit burnt out. And what we have with Mercury moving through Capricorn is the Two of Wands. This is about, there's a sense of restlessness with the Two of Wands, but it's very much the ability to manifest. You see this figure, yeah, I think you can see these cards quite clearly. You see the figure has, I'll hold up, it's the world in its hand. And I love the fact that it's shaped as a heart. And this ability to have sort of this understanding of the world and its cycles. But perhaps needing to look for new adventure, because you've had to pause, you've had to be calculated, you've had to, figure things out. You had retrograde in your first house, but it's helping you, that retrograde is helping you establish your ability to be sure of yourself in your decision making. Just had my energetic response to that. It's a card of planning, and being mindful, but with, the figure is gazing outward into the ocean. It's sorry, my words are getting a bit stuck. I am talking about in Capricorn when there was a Mercury retrograde, so not surprising, but also probably just me. That there's, as I said, there's a restlessness because there's an urge to go out. There's an urge to be doing all the things, having everything under control, and starting that new adventure. But you've been asked to plan and to wait and be a little more grounded in how you direct your motivation and how you direct your passions. But we have the Page of Pentacles coming up for Mercury going over Pluto, and this is the opposite of pause. The Page, this is about a new adventure, heralding in something new. Pages are the most youthful of, along with the Fool, the most youthful energy in the court cards and in the major arcana. And bringing in this idea of cultivating a new sense of embodiment, a new sense of who you are in this earth. Pentacles are an earth sign. It can also represent material wealth. We do, after all, have a lot of pentacles that are hinting at that, certainly with moving into your second house of, as I said, it's how you make your money. It's your manifestation house. It's your resources. The Page is, as I said, it's bringing something new in, bringing the fresh aliveness in, that deep this is definitely a shift in energy that's happening. And then we have, with Mercury going into Aquarius, this is a very powerful card in the Aleister Crowley deck. It's called the Power card. It's called Power, and fours are very strong. It's about stability. There is interpretations about holding on to things and holding on and not sharing and not being a bit of a miser, but I see that these pentacles there on his feet and over his heart and on his crown of really having the ability to cultivate and manifest through those particular areas of your life in terms of chakra work and energy portals of being there's a sense of dominion here in the 3D, the figures wearing a crown, very much in control of their own autonomy. And what I like about the card that follows this is how does these energies interact and integrate and manifest leading forward? We have the 10 of Pentacles. This is about legacy. This is long-term material gain. That's not just money, it's just stability, growth, legacy, foundations. It's about bringing the mundane and the mystical together. In the traditional Rider-Waite, this figure is covered in a multicolored coat, and these figures are quite plain, highlighting the sense of the magic, the sense of the unknown, the unusual, being able to intermingle with your day-to-day. And even though this isn't a video about Pluto moving into Aquarius, I do feel like some of the overall themes are the energy that's building towards that is linked into Pluto then transiting through that second house. As I said, Saturn's done the groundwork to help us transform and really utilize that Pluto energy. But yeah, having the 10 of Wands with the knife over it, you're cutting a cord of that feeling of being overworked and not being supported, that feeling of taking on the burdens of everyone around you, and not having any let up. On that card, I'll just show it. There is a house at the end of the road. 10s mark completion. They mark a new cycle. And this is highlighting that cycle has been broken. Okay, they've not done this before. Wow. So seeing that 10 of Pentacles crowning this energy below, it's a super, yeah, it's I don't know why I was lost for words. I just wanted to say positive reading. Very, very grounded with that Capricorn energy, really bringing in what's been learnt. Okay, the card that came out was healing. Having gone through healing process, we are then I talked about that a lot. You can't see that, it's been put underneath the cards. I talked a lot about healing at the beginning, and how that can create space to bring this in, and every day's a school day. Our healing process isn't always over, and we get revealed little nudges from the universe to help us. Well, the cards are being a bit they wanted to get the energy out. Yeah, just these cards seem quite self-explanatory. So justice flipped up. Seems like those burdens that you've been carrying This is a controversial thing to say. I don't like to load things onto people and diminish the pain and suffering that we may feel. But often we're doing that on a collective level, an ancestral, energetic release, ancestral level. And it's something, again, this is my personal viewpoint, that, you know, we've signed up for these things. We've signed up to exist in this space, in this madness, this ridiculousness that is going on right now out in the world, because the earth and our species and everything is going through a dark night of the soul. And that is when we shed light on all the true darkness within, and all the struggle and all the grief, in order to transform it. And the more we do that on an individual level, the more that we're doing that for the collective, for our ancestors, for our future selves. So my hands have just gone over my face at saying that. You know, this image of the council, really, what my first thought when I saw it was, this is everyone sitting around the table, in every dimension, in every timeline, in every here, now, past, future, all of it. And the support that is feeding into every one of us, because we are all intimate, we are all interconnected. Anyway, justice. You know, this is finding balance, acting with compassion. But I feel, for me, it's just the word of this, having gone through this, the verdict that is you are receiving justice, because we have the healing card. Sorry if my words are a bit funny today. There's some powerful messages coming through in these cards, and as I said, I don't like to load people up with my own personal views, because I don't want to trigger anybody in what it is that I feel quite strongly from my experience and born witness to, not only how I feel about it, but certainly receiving energetic confirmation from the channeling. But I also am very aware that I know nothing, absolutely nothing. And we're all in this experience, and receive what resonates and work from your own space of understanding. Anyway, Capricorn, I really hope that helps. All of my love. Be well until we meet again. Sagittarius rising. How are you doing, Sag? So we have Mercury moving into your third house. This is sextiling your ascendant. This is an aspect of Venus. This is about bringing in harmony, desire, your passions. There's a free-flowing sense of there's an ease with a sextile. And the third house represents your sort of day-to-day, the places you go on a regular basis, the things you do on a regular basis, the people that you meet out in your day-to-day world. This was traditionally called the house of the goddess. It's opposite the ninth house, which was the house of the god. And it's about bringing your big picture ideas of the ninth house into your day-to-day, of bringing in the divine into your daily practices. This is the house of communication, short distance travel, taking a short course, or going back to school and starting something new. And so we have this following Mercury being in Capricorn, and it will be conjunct Pluto. So the things that you've learned, that transformational energy that's going on in your second house, which is where Capricorn is, which is your manifestation house. This is the house of your resources. This is this is the house where you bring in what it is that you care about. This can be money. This can be, don't know if we want those ones. This can be money, this can be physical things, this can be ideas, this can be anything that you care about, the things that you value. And so Mercury's journey through there with that retrograde has helped you revisit what it is that you value and care about long term. Capricorn is the final and third collective earth sign. So this is about legacy. This is about commitment. Do they want that one? Okay. I'll see. We'll see. That was the moon. So we'll see what happens with those cards. The cards are being quite intense today. Not surprising. We're bringing in Pluto's energy in with Mercury today. So the sort of the things that you've been learning about what it is that you value, Mercury's now moving into Aquarius, where Saturn has been for the last 2.5 years. That's put out restrictions and boundaries to help you understand what it is that you truly want from your day-to-day practice, what it is that you need. Aquarius is the final collective air sign, so thinking maybe you're interacting with interesting people in your day-to-day life, able to think differently about how you operate in your sort of daily habits, and how you communicate. Mercury moving through here will help again sort of go over that area of where Saturn's been, help you integrate in how you communicate not only with yourself but with the people around you, as I said, the people in the day-to-day. Sometimes I can tell when the cards don't want to come out because the energies want to do some energy work for you. So this is really helping. I talked about in the introduction about frequencies and the air, and being able to receive information from the outside world through the air. I talked about going on walks, and I feel perhaps going out and about in your local area, you're going to be receive some communications, receive some understanding, be able to disseminate information and share information with people in your day-to-day, or perhaps maybe you write on a day-to-day basis. Maybe journaling would be a really good idea to do while Mercury's moving through Aquarius. And to see what comes up, what ideas come to life, and how you want, as I said, Aquarius is, it's another collective sign. This is dealing with long term. This is thinking about the big picture. So how many cards? I'm pulling... How many cards? So much. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place today. 4 cards, 4 tarot cards. So we had the moon, and I'm just going to move these around to see where they want to go. Oh, that's quite far down. Don't know if you can quite see them. Let me just move my camera a bit so you got a better shot of the cards. See if they want to stay in that position. Certainly for my last reading, they were being very trickster energy. So we have for Mercury moving through Capricorn, we've got the Guru. This is about being your own internal guru, understanding how to bring in your ideas of what you want and what you truly value, and being able to turn them into reality. This is traditionally the Hierophant, which is linked into sort of more book religion, more structured forms of communicating big ideas, and this is great for the second house, and also a lot of this, for the readings that I've done so far, it feels like Pluto's energy is running through all of these cards, even though this is a video about Mercury. That through Pluto's transformation in that space, you've really helped understand what your deep spiritual needs are in terms of what you value, really helping you unearth hidden mysteries and hidden things deep within, and clear the way to I talked a lot about that Plutonian energy getting helping us get things that are stuck within us and digging them out for them to be revealed. That you know, in your second house of values, being able to really understand how you value yourself. And as I said, being your own guru and holding space for your own autonomy and understanding of the world, and being able to apply that into your second house for the long term. As I said, we're dealing with collective energy, long-term energy. And we have coming through... We have, okay, they're just wanting to stack these together. I'm wondering if they want them to be in the same space. Yeah, so they've done this a few times. So we have with Pluto, with meeting Mercury. We have Pluto meeting Mercury. This is the moon. This is tapping into the hidden. This is a sense of stillness. This is bringing up from the deep reservoirs deep within you this magical space and of understanding. This can also be a space of illusion. The light from the moon is not as direct and obvious there. You can see different things in the moonlight, and it feels that Mercury is helping you understand how you may look at the world, and how you may have been in a space of illusion with who you are, and how this guru energy, this journey of Pluto and Mercury helping you communicate that energy of Pluto to yourself, and your values, that the final hit from Mercury with Pluto is bringing about anything, you know, your primal needs. You know, often with full moons, things can feel out of balance and the animals go a bit wild, because the moon is pulling on our emotions and our triggers and our unmet needs, and helping highlight those. That Mercury is really helping you dig deep and have those intense conversations with yourself about what it is that you truly value. And the outcomes cards show that this transformation is setting you on a whole new journey, because not only do we have the Fool, which is the beginning of the major arcana, but we have the Ace of Swords, and aces are very potent energy. They hold the space for all of the decks, but it's a new start, a new beginning, a new idea, a new more logical space. And we have here the laurel wreath, which often represents a sense of sacrifice, of having to let go of things, of having to you know, sacrifice is quite a strong word, but certainly understand, comprehend, integrate, and release parts of this illusions that you may have felt, especially with the second house, that we can get tied in with what people may have said to us from a young age that really affects how we value ourselves. And I feel like this is really helping you clear the way and really affirm this guru energy, as I said, because we have the Fool. This is Mercury moving into Aquarius, is helping you start a new journey out into the world, out into your day-to-day, about how you look at things. The Fool has this wonderful energy of just being open to what's about to happen on the adventure, and being able to move forward with a real lightness, a real childlike energy, but there's still deep wisdom of that journey that you're about to go on. And you know, with the Ace of Swords coming through about how this energy is going to manifest, is just a new way of thinking about the world, a new way of looking at it, a new way of interacting with it. I'm going to pull a card from the Numerology deck. Sometimes this is a clarification card for one of the tarot cards. Sometimes this is an overall theme. Yeah, I really see that with that sextile energy of bringing about harmony into your day-to-day, with this Fool energy of, as I said, looking at things from a new perspective. That's so funny. We got that card for Capricorn as well. And yeah, definitely seeing that being linked into the ability to bring that wisdom and understanding that you've been learning with Pluto going through Capricorn, and with Mercury having that retrograde there, of revisiting and re-understanding what it is that you truly care about. This is like the final layer of healing that needs to happen in order for you to move into this full energy. I'm going to pull a final card from the First Light Tarot deck. Oh, there's some cards that are around the wrong way. Again, could be a clarification card, could be source, love and light. So that, you know, tapping into that love and light, that full, as I was saying about the Fool looks at things with wonder, and it looks to all the experiences as something to explore and grow and take pleasure from, to learn from, to evolve and grow. And we have the tapping into that deep source energy within yourself, to help transform your day to day. Again, you know, Ace of Swords. Swords are an air sign, air element, air part of the deck, and Aquarius is an air sign. So whatever's coming through is really it's helping not only just yourself but the collective, especially with the third house. This is a problem solving house, so, you know, working out how to do things and how to be with people in your day-to-day community, and for not only your benefit but the benefit of the collective. I really hope this helps, Sagittarius, and be well until we meet again. Scorpio rising. How are you doing, Scorpio? So this Mercury is moving into your 4th house, having spent some time in your 3rd house and having a retrograde there. So you've been revisiting and going over, you know, your 3rd house is your sort of your day-to-day, your community, the things you do on a regular basis. This is about communication, short distance travel, and starting a new project, doing a short course, going back to school, starting something new on a sort of fundamental level. This is also traditionally the house of the goddess, so bringing in meaning into your day-to-day things, and your day-to-day practices. So you've had Pluto going through that space for some time now, since 2008, really helping you reanalyze and dig up and question things, look into the darkness of what it is that you need from that space, and how to operate in that space. And we have that energy of Pluto being quite present in these readings, even though this is a reading on Mercury moving into Aquarius. But, you know, because Pluto is at such a late degree, it's the conjunction with Mercury happens the day before Mercury moves into Aquarius. And I feel with a lot of these transits going through Aquarius, all sort of laying down the groundwork and providing help and assistance with how we work with that Pluto energy moving forward. We've had Saturn in your 4th house, which is where Mercury's headed, and which has put up restrictions and boundaries and limitations to help you walk your talk and work out what it is truly integral to you, and really take up responsibility in your area of your 4th house, which is the home. This is your private life, this is your parents, this is your ancestors, this is your deep foundations. It's right at the bottom of the chart. And so Mercury moving in there is sort of going over that's the area that Saturn's been over, helping us integrate ideas and thoughts about what's come through from Saturn, and helping you integrate that not only with how you communicate with yourself, but with the people in your private life. So we've got 4 cards here. I'm just going to move them around and see where they want to go. Right. So they've been quite playful in a lot of these readings. So we had with Capricorn, so before I talk about that, Mercury will be squaring, so your 4th house squares your 1st house. So Mercury will be squaring your sense of self. A square is an aspect of Mars. It can bring about conflict, and it can also bring about sort of severing and cutting. But it's also the first aspect that helps manifest things in the 3D world. It creates friction. We need friction in order for things to become real. Squares are very powerful energy. And we're dealing with angular houses for you, Scorpio, with the 1st and the 4th here. And angular houses are very powerful houses. They tend to show up in the 3D world. So we've got this square to yourself. So whatever you have in Scorpio will be squaring what's going on in Aquarius. And you know, as I said, there could be conflict. There could be a bit of drama. There could be friction. There could be this desire to battle and to be combative. But you know, I always say with Mars, you know, Mars likes to be in motion. Mars, you know, I'm talking about the aspect of a square, but that energy of Mars is funneled in that aspect of giving those energies that are squaring one another something to do that is from the space that more of a space that's more what you require and how you want to manifest it, rather than letting that energy consume you and bring you down, using that friction and using that force to help bring things into manifestation. So we have with Mercury going through Capricorn, we've got this sense of lack with the 5 of Pentacles. This sense of feeling out in the cold, of not being part of society, and it, you know, it's that feeling of being in that space of not being able to see any space for abundance, and helping you revisit that idea of that sense of lack in your 3rd house of your sort of day-to-day, of perhaps feeling that you don't have the resource, you haven't felt like you've had the resources that you've needed and wanted. And Mercury going through that space is helping you communicate differently and understand that time has passed, especially with Pluto going through that space, you know, that deep transformational space of bringing up the darkness, bringing up also hidden treasures, you know, looking at those feelings, that space that may feel like stuck energy of not having any momentum to move forward, and clearing that out. Interestingly, the selenite knife wanted to be over that space of separating you from that energy, because we have, when Mercury meets Pluto, this is the energy that's coming through for you, Scorpio. This is abundance. This is the Empress. This is the Queen of Queens. This is a sense of being able to enjoy life in the material world. She's ruled by Venus, and Venus wants to enjoy that space. And your 3rd house is sextiling your 1st house, and that is an aspect of Venus. So Mercury's helping really transform this energy, the polarizing energies here, this sense of lack, this feeling of being in the cold, in the outside. Look at the difference between these 2 pictures. We have this warmth, this sense of fertility, this sense of enjoyment and abundance and being at peace and resting, and that's a wonderful transformational shift that we're having here with Mercury, of, you know, how you communicate and how the outside world communicates with you. And really moving into a new space, because we have, with Mercury moving into Aquarius, I'm just going to see which way they want to move this around. We have the Aquarius card, which is the star card. And we have the Ace of Swords. So, you know, Aquarius is the final collective air sign. You have this in your fourth house, which means that you're able to utilize and interpret different ways of doing things that help all within your private life, of not necessarily being traditional, being outside of the bounds of traditional structures, and being able to see new pathways and new ways of thinking, and really bringing in that space of having a bit more. There's a coolness, there's a logic to Aquarius. There's grounded, you know, even though it's an air sign, I always use that word as is of being able to be still and being able to revive, but with as I said, this logical, bigger picture perspective you have with mental energy, the sword energy, rather than emotional responses. But with the ace, this is very powerful, potent, new space, new beginnings, and new ideas coming through into your home. And I love that we've got the star card, because this is also linked into hope and renewal, and being, you know, she is unclothed, she is truly herself in the moment. And there's a stillness to the star, of being able to be to release the masks that you may have had in your life, in your private life, and doing some deep emotional healing. I talk about Aquarius, about it's a really good time to listen to different frequencies in order to get downloads from the air. It's a very potent energy for Aquarius, of you know, through this healing, through this hope, new ideas can come. Just had an energetic release. New ideas can come through, a new ability, a fresh start. And there's galactic energy here. We've got the stars and we've got the earth. It's that ability to bring that energy into the 3D, and yeah, have that sense of hope and that calm. This follows the Tower card. It's the stillness after the storm, and it's the light is shining on you, you know, this aspect of being a star, revealing your true divinity in your home life. With your sense of self as well, because of that square to whatever you have in Scorpio, particularly for Scorpio risings, with having that in their first house, of really being able to harness, to separate yourself from that energy. To have this card feels like it has no hope, and this card has all the hope in the universe. It's a really lovely spread. The fixed signs have certainly been going through it. We're still dealing with fixed energy here with Mercury moving into Aquarius. And again, with that, having Saturn go through your fourth house of feeling the isolation, feeling the restrictions, having to step up to the plate, having to integrate what it is that you truly want from your sense of home, that to have the star card with this transit, we've got spiritual partnership here. Where does this want to go? You know, finding spiritual partnership in your home with the people that you live with. Again, with the square to your sense of self, being able to be in union and be at ease on a higher level with yourself and your private life and your home. Your foundations, setting a new space for your foundational space. A deep sense of hope and vitality and regeneration. As I said, the star is about deep healing, and being able to find a sense of peace. Just had an energetic release. Maybe having, because it is the house of ancestors, again, had another energetic release, finding spiritual partnership with all those that have passed before you, and really connect to the wisdom and support and the foundations that you have with that, and and use that to help facilitate any healing that you may have had, any tower moments you may have had. any restrictions and boundaries with Saturn. We have the Sun, freedom, nature, free-spirited innocence, and it's gone over the Empress card, which is Pluto conjunct Mercury, this sense of release that's coming after this transformation, and having a weight lifted off you. I like that it has innocence here as well, because we're drawing in the energy of the fourth house, and again with that healing and that clearing of hope, releasing any trauma that may have happened in your private life, in your home, and having that weight lifted off you, and enable for your sense of self to shine brightly. I really hope that helps, Scorpio. Be well until we meet again. Libra rising. How are you doing, Libra? So we have Mercury moving into your 5th house. This is your house of your creation energy. This is the house of amusement and fun and play. This is also the house of children. But as I said, this is creation energy, and anything we do that we birth into the world could be called our children. And so Mercury's moving in there, and your 5th house trines your 1st house if you're a Libra rising. And a trine is an aspect of Jupiter, and this is about bringing in wisdom, opportunities and abundance to help you understand and navigate the world, and then use that energy to manifest later on. This is facilitating. They're both air signs, so there's a sharing of commonality between you. This ability for information between that Libra energy of the sort of social air sign into the collective, and how you want to use that collective energy, the downloads that you get from this Aquarius season, and funnel that into your sense of self. We've had Mercury go through Capricorn, which is your 4th house of home, private life, your parents, your ancestors, but your foundation. It's the thing where you come from. And this squares your 4th house. So you've had Pluto moving through here since 2008, bringing in big transformation to do with how you look at that area of your life, bringing out probably the warts and all to help you understand and shine light upon the darkness, and really embrace it and understand it and transform it. These things are jewels within themselves. These are lessons. And you've had Mercury retrograde through there, so you've been revisiting and understanding, what is your long-term goals for how you want your home and your private life to be. And Mercury retrograded, so you were, I think I just said that, sorry. So you're revisiting these things and really finding all the jigsaw pieces about how to move forward in a physical 3D sense. And helping, as I said, communicate with how you want to be, and also with the people in your private life. And so your 4th house squares your 1st house. Square energy can bring about conflict, but it's also friction energy that can bring about manifestation. But you might have had to have gone through a few conflicts and discussions and hard talks that's needed to happen while Mercury's been in Capricorn. In order to, set down the foundations that you just had an energetic release need for the long term, like really laying it on the line, especially with that Pluto energy there. Just seem to, as I've said probably many times, and you've probably heard me say this before, sometimes I get a sensation from the deck that no cards are coming out, because the energies want to do some healing work. They're doing some work over my heart chakra right now. Perhaps there has this, as I said, Pluto's been going through your 4th house since 2008. So this has been some long-term work. And often our heart space can get hindered by our home life and our private life. But this is all funneling in. So the work that, you know, you've had Saturn. So I'll go back to the 5th house, which is where Mercury is moving into. But the lessons that we're learning from Capricorn is helping bring in foundations for your creativity, for your spark, to how to cultivate that energy. This is air energy, as I said at the beginning. Really recommend listening to frequencies while we have these planets moving through and the sun moving through Aquarius. To help tap in and receive thoughts and ideas from the collective space, and really channel that into your creative energy. But you've had Saturn there, which has brought about restrictions and boundaries and limitations. Perhaps you haven't felt that creative spark, you haven't felt inspired, you haven't having fun, hasn't had the same weight to it. They're quite determined to do a bit more energy work for you, Libra. Oh, just had a big energetic release then. Where was I? So I was talking about Saturn in the 5th house. That, yeah, you know, it's been during lockdowns, so, you know, the ability to go out and have fun in the same way is completely transformed. The ability to find that motivation to be creative may have felt, you know, Aquarius is the collective sign, and we tend to receive a bit of anxiety linked into the collective through that air sign, especially as a fellow air sign with energy in Libra. Like, you're can be very much connected to that collective mental thought. It can be quite exhausting. Mercury is coming through to help connect the dots and bring in and of all that energy that's been going through with Saturn, and really helping facilitate, integrate those messages, helping you walk your talk, helping you be in integrity with yourself, helping you work out through those limitations what it is that you really care about. So let's see where these cards want to go. Okay, they haven't done this before. This is very unusual. So we've got 3 major arcana to start off with, Libra. We've got the Emperor, the Death card, and the Empress, and we've also got the 4 of Cups. Now I'm just going to wait a second and see where these cards want to go, and they've been quite playful. And we've got the Emperor and the Empress. This is powerful energy, Libra. I can't lie. Okay, so where do these want to go? Okay. So I said at the beginning, I've got this road opener candle in dedication to Mercury to help open the roads of energy through. I don't know if you can see, the knife is here. Yeah, these are really powerful cards. So we've got the 4 of Cups. Sorry, sometimes I find it a bit difficult to speak when I'm physically channeling. Do bear with me. I'm also quite blown away by this reading. It's very, very powerful. So we've got the 4 of Cups in reverse. Now it feels like, so the 4 of Cups upright is someone who's, the phrase that comes to mind with the 4 of Cups is comparison is the thief of joy. So this is a figure who's sitting down, he's not in motion, he's not taking action, and he's staring at these 3 cups. That there's a sense of embitterness, there's a sense of these aren't available to this person, and they feel frustrated and feel blocked and they can't move because they're not able to have the things that other people may have. And the thing with this figure is that the Ace of Cups is coming in, but they're not looking at it. They're looking at what they can't have. They're looking at things that are out of reach. And this Ace of Cups is coming in to show there's a new lease of life. There's a new spark of emotional connection, of of uh, of yeah, of I do apologize. My words really are stumbling to get out. There's a new sense of renewal. Aces are very powerful energy. This is about new beginnings and new space. So we have that's what it is upright, but it wanted to be in reverse, which indicates a clearing of that space. So as I said, you've had Mercury going through Capricorn in your 4th house, of perhaps moving through this energy while Mercury was retrograde, of frustration, of not being able to see the good that's coming your way, of focusing on these things that you may think you want but aren't actually what you truly need and truly desire. And with the Mercury retrograde, it's helped you revisit and you re-go over and re-understand and be able to then flip this upside down and have a new lease of life and let that Ace of Cups come into you. And particularly because we've got the Death card coming up, which is linked in. So this is for the card for Mercury hitting Scorpio, conjuncting with Scorpio, and this is about letting go. This is about being able to let go of, as I said, comparison is the thief of joy. You are only yourself. You only have what is in with you, and the more that you cultivate that rather than looking outside, the more that you grow to love and accept who you are, and that ripples out, that momentum, that heart space sort of magnifies and frees you up to be able to enjoy that ace energy. And I feel like with this death cup, death cup, with Mercury having that intense conversation with Pluto in Capricorn in your 4th house, helping you clear out stuck energy, helping you really be forensic in understanding what it is that you need to release and face and move forward and transform. You know, this is linking into the cycle of life, death and rebirth. This is linked into Scorpio. And that's in that sense of being able to transform, being able to compost that which you think you don't need and turn that into nutrients. Because the cards that follow with Mercury going into your 5th house of fun and creativity and creation energy, it's also the house of children. And the Empress card, when it comes up, can represent pregnancy. I don't tend to read that way unless it's a particular reading with a specific question, because I feel like that's quite limiting to people who are watching who aren't in that space, who may be single or not even wanting children. But there's such potent energy coming through with that transformation into your life source, your creation energy of this is being, the Empress is about being able to enjoy the world that we're in and seek pleasure and abundance and that fertility, that space of, she's the Queen of Queens, and we have the Emperor, the King of Kings, that having dominion and authority and autonomy in and knowing your own godhood and knowing your own divinity and really being able to be a space of union. We've also got the masculine and the feminine. When I talk about those, I'm talking about energies that we all hold within us of having this powerful force, this powerful energy uniting and combining, having gone through that deep transformation. You're also having Pluto move through your 5th house. I'll do a video on that. And this feels like, you know, Saturn moving through Aquarius, as I've said before, is sort of helping us do the work and cut loose and get rid of that which we don't need. Because then when we do the transformational work with Pluto, it's going to transform the work that we've already done and sort of ripple on the work that we've already achieved. Rather than strip us of things that we may feel vulnerable about. Saturn's already sort of, you know, held those limitations up, and it's created a sense of vulnerability in the Aquarian area of our lives that we've become understanding and connected to that space that that intense, powerful, magnetic Pluto energy is just going to be such a reawakening. So my hand is just, well, it's beating the heart chakra. That, yeah, this the difference. So going from this energy, well, you've been moving through this, but you were still in a space of this to this abundance. This is the opposite of abundance. This is thinking you have nothing. This is not only thinking you have nothing, but being resentful of other people's abundance, which diminishes and reduces and shrinks us and blocks our way of turning that upside down, of the inward journey of seeing your own abundance. Just had an energetic release, that transformation of then being in such this fertile, potent energy. This is gorgeous. Right, I'm going to pull a card from the numerology deck. Sometimes it's a clarification card for one of the tarot cards, and sometimes it's an overall message for Mercury going into Aquarius, which, as I said, you're going to, because you're a fellow air sign, you're going to be able to receive those downloads, the opportunities and sense of wisdom that's going to come through from Mercury's journey through Aquarius is really going to rejuvenate and help you not only communicate with yourself, but with others, and how you understand the world and how you want to move forward on a more sort of universal way. You know, Aquarius is a very collective energy. It's a very unique energy. It wants there to be, it's not necessarily the black sheep of the family, but it's aware of its otherness, its uniqueness, its differentiation, oh, easy for me to say, or not, from the collective norm. There's a sense of radicalness about it, but there's also boundaries and restrictions. It's ruled by Saturn, and there's a need for rules. There's a need for of knowing the rules that it wants to put in place. But as I said, great sign to have in your creation energy. You know, really ability to receive things through the air, through the wind. One of the cards that I pulled for this reading from the shamanic deck was wind. You know, go out for walks, really immerse yourself in the element of wind, of air, of movement. So then I'll put my hands over my heart chakra. Right, now maybe a card will come out. Oh, Libra. I'm really loving this energy for you. And I said in the other readings, like, it really feels like Pluto's energy is sort of moving through this space. Even the cards that are linked into Mercury and Aquarius, because as I said, Pluto's moving into Aquarius in March. It will dip back into Capricorn again and will properly be in Aquarius from December 2024. But we're going to get a taste of what Pluto's going to do. Oh. We've got the card of personal growth, that in-between space of letting go, integrating, composting. When we do that, we open up space for, you know, the quantum field to come in, for that a possibility of anything, like truly being open to it. It's certainly a big part of my practice, and I've really noticed it manifest in the 3D world. It's not big things, it's not crazy big, it's not everything instantly. There's a sense of patience with the universe, certainly for me, but I have a lot of fixed energy in my chart. But I definitely, do we want this one? Okay. I didn't look at the card, I was just holding it, because then I'll get so we've got the death card. It says change, suspension of consciousness, new life, reborn. I really like that as a blending of the energy in your fourth house, of facilitating those change in your foundations. Again, foundations is, you know, linked into the ancestors, whether, you know, whether that's your belief or not. There are certainly ancestral energy around. And then the new life and being reborn is moving into that fifth house of your creative energy. Oh, they thought they wanted it to shuffle more, but no. So, wow. Death on death. Personal growth. You know, for those of you who are in relationships, you may have been, that energy definitely feels like you're transforming that relationship that you're in. And, you know, this Mercury hitting Pluto is really asking you to look at the ugly, look at the dark, look at the things that make you feel uncomfortable, that may bring about conflict. With this square to your first house, you know, it's healthy to address these things rather than try and pacify. And be very present. Be present with yourself, with your partner. There's a lot of beautiful creation energy coming through to facilitate those of you who may be in a relationship, and potential children coming through. But there was the parenting card at the bottom. Just wanted to show that, but they didn't want to bring that through. So again, like I try not to limit, but if that's a message that resonates, I am glad. But definitely this personal growth is coming through for either the feminine and masculine within you, or the energies of a couple coming together and growing together. But again, this message is universal for anybody, no matter what gender or relationship status that you're in. I simply talking about energetic energies come through. So they've just turned over the Four of Cups. Just had an energetic release with that. Yeah, be here now. Be here now. I hope that helps, Libra. All of my love, and be well until we meet again. Virgo rising. How are you doing, Virgo? So we've had Mercury move through your 5th house of creativity in Capricorn. And we've had this Mercury retrograde there. You've been revisiting what your creative needs, your creation energy requires. It's also the house of fun and amusement and the things that bring you pleasure. It can be linked into children, and partnerships that not the 7th house is more sort of long-term commitment partnerships, but so we have, you know, but I also say, you know, with children, the things that we birth into the world are creation energy. So that can be anything. It doesn't have to be linked into children, which is why I focus on the creative energy part. You've had Pluto go through there since 2008, helping you transform and release and understand the hidden parts of yourself that needed to bring up, to turn into gems that we can use as treasure to move forward with in your creation energy, in the third earth sign, third and final earth sign, the collective earth sign. This is ruled by Saturn, which is all about longevity and time, and the slow and steady wins the race with Saturn. So we've had Mercury go through there, helping you understand, just some children screaming while I was talking about the 5th house, helping you understand how you communicate with your creative energy, and what your desires and motivations are for that. And we're going to have Mercury hit Pluto, conjunct Pluto the day before Mercury moves into Aquarius. So this is real late degrees. This is the late degree of Pluto being there. This is very intense energy coming through. With all the other readings, it's felt like the whole spread, Pluto's engaged in part of in all of it, and not just in the Capricorn part of this reading. So it's almost like a Mercury Pluto reading rather than just a Mercury reading. So we've got Mercury moving into your 6th house, which is your house of work, your house of health. This is a house of routines. The cards have been playing up a little bit. There's quite some trickster energy going on, not surprising with Mercury. So the sixth house, the house of health, work, routines. This is can be quite a difficult house sometimes. Because it's often things that we don't necessarily want to do, or need a little bit more effort to put in. And so you've had Saturn move through there that's been helping you. I'm not going to address the cards that come out, because for almost every reading I've done so far, they've been moving them around, and I don't want to start reading the cards until I've got all 4 out. So we have, as I was saying, you've had Saturn move through your 6th house for the last 2.5 years. Saturn will be moving into Pisces. So we're really we've got Pluto and Saturn both at the end of their signs. We're really sort of learning the big pictures, learning the end game of a lot of the messages that have been coming through, and a lot of, as I said, the lessons that we've had during this time. With Saturn, very restrictive, but asking you to work and understand why those restrictions are there, because it's usually for the benefit of the long term, helping you walk your talk, be more integral and be more responsible to that area of your life. So it's felt that with that energy of having the Aquarius in your 6th house, I think I mentioned this in the new moon reading for you, Virgo, this is such a good time to listen to music, or chanting, or binaural beats, or just any vibration that helps facilitate your body and your health, and helps motivate you. We receive wisdom and information coming through the wind and the air with Aquarius. I did talk about going for walks. I think going for walks is a great idea while Mercury is in Aquarius, to help receive messages and downloads while we're interacting with air. Sometimes when we're inside, the air can get a bit stagnant, so open a window. Mercury's moving in there, helping integrate everything that we've been learning with Saturn moving through this sign, helping us be able to, as I say, bring all the pieces together, bring about a sense of wholeness, a collectiveness. It's not just in terms of the collective, but bringing all those pieces together in order to form a cohesive whole that affects every single part of you. This can relate into how you operate in your work, what it is that you want to gain from your working environment, what it is your health routines you are, how you're looking after your body, sort of really integrating that wisdom of what you've learnt with Saturn there. It's funny that came up when I was talking just about to say Saturn, because this is often a card that I link into Saturn. Let's see where the cards want to go for Mercury retrograde in Mercury moving through Capricorn, Mercury conjunct Pluto, and Mercury moving into Aquarius. Yeah, they've certainly got very playful. Okay, so the selenite is wanting to go over to this council card, which came up in the couple of cards that I pulled for the main sort of energy coming through. The energies are definitely getting quite a bit more playful. They usually are, but we are dealing with Pluto here. So please do bear with me, Virgo, while this happens. This hasn't happened in the same way when I've done other readings for this channel. It happens quite a lot in personal readings that I do for myself. It's why often I find it difficult to read for myself, because the energies will want to pretty much use the whole deck and then do things like this for hours on end. So let's hope it's, not quite that vibe. I'm not gonna, sorry, I could be talking about the cards, but I don't know what order they want to be in, so I'm not going to start doing the reading until they stop moving everything around. Okay, let's see if they've finished. So we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse for Mercury's journey through Capricorn. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is very good at giving advice, very logical, very grounded in the cycles of existence. And the fact that she's in reverse really leans into the retrograde with Mercury going through Capricorn, which is obviously an earth sign, and being able to revisit and re-understand your creative needs and needs and wants, and how you move, and revisiting things, and being able to bring that logic, that wisdom the Queen of Pentacles has of using her knowledge of able to be able to manifest and bring things into life. Just had an energetic release then, but this has been an inward process. This has been a revision, a turning. Really not, this is not manifesting quite in the outside world yet, but really putting in the groundwork. And as I said, she's very good at helping you out and helping give you wisdom and support, as I said, to help manifest things. And then we've got Mercury conjunct Pluto, and this is the Six of Pentacles, and this is an act of giving and receiving. But the reason why I link it into Saturn is because, you know, there's a hierarchical system here. There's someone taller, and then there's these people essentially asking for support, so I, you know, seeing the taller figure handing things out, that you know, giving a gift, but there's a sense of there's not quite abundance there, but giving you what you need, and being in receipt of some cosmic wisdom to help. You know, the Six of Pentacles is after the Five of Pentacles, which is about feeling shut out from the outside world, feeling that you have no one's helping, and there's no support. And this is about receiving support, helping you. So Pluto with Mercury there in Capricorn, in your creative energy, is helping give you some support to be able to do this. You know, sometimes the cards really speak for themselves. That, you know, there is authority, there is a hierarchical structure with Pluto. There's definitely a lot of that energy of positions of power, and what we do with that energy and how we utilize it. But we have here the Emperor for Mercury moving into Aquarius. This is someone who's very much in command of who they are, what they know who they are, and how they act on it. This is the King of Kings. This is very direct action. This is having a sense of stability and being able to bring things into manifestation. This is a switch up of the energy, having done, you know, the revision and the long term support, internal wisdom to yourself with your creative passions. This is giving you this ability to work from a place of your own independence. Just had an energetic release, and as well as taking care of yourself. We have the Ten of Cups here for the sort of long-term manifestation of this energy. And again, I feel like it's very much, this is all linking in Saturn, Pluto, and as well as Mercury. But Mercury moving through through Aquarius, where Saturn's been, is helping bring in this energy, this emperor energy, this integral energy that Saturn's been helping us work through, that that you have that dominion over your work, you have that dominion in how you take care of yourself, because the end result is the Ten of Cups, and this is about things being in harmony, things being able to bring you emotional joy and contentment, and with that being your house of work, I mean, sometimes it's you working for other people, but it's also, you know, that daily grind, and it is also linked into the 10th house, which is your career. But, you know, being able to do the work from a place of motivation and desire. This is Aries energy. This is spark of life. This is real passion, and being able to bring that passion into your work, into the way you take care of yourself, has this Ten of Cups come out, this feeling content in every area of your life. Right, I'm going to pull a numerology card, and this can often be a clarification card. No, they didn't want that one. Clarification card, or an overall theme. Interesting card to come up, compassion. Yeah, that was my first thought, that would be linked to the Queen of Pentacles. Perhaps with Pluto going through your 5th house, you know, it's been a long road of truly getting to understand that creative energy, and again, with Capricorn being a Saturn ruled sign in your house of creativity, there's always a sense of long-term end results. Things aren't quick, things aren't fast, and perhaps you have been frustrated, and there's, you know, you've got Emperor energy, there's an impatience there, but it's sort of, I feel like you can only sort of bring this, because it's the Aries sign, you can only really step into this when you've gone through this, and had compassion, and rather than talking to yourself in a negative way, linked into your creative energy and the way that you have fun, you've been able to heal that part of you, revisit that part of you, and tend to yourself in a grounded way, but one of care and one of love, bringing in that earth mother energy into that area of your life, because, you know, this the Capricorn trines your 1st house. There's a sense of bringing in wisdom and understanding and opportunities with this creation energy and who you are. Which one do we want? I wanted both of them. So we've got the Fool card come up. We've got the Fool card. So you're being supported to go on a new journey and open up. So I like this. It says pathways. Open up new pathways. That the support that you're going to get is creating a new space for you to move in. And we have vibration, and I talked to you about Aquarius in your 6th house of it, really beneficial to surround yourself by, even in the background, vibrational music that really facilitates healing in your body. I told you they were playing up before. You know, what I'm getting from them doing this is sort of a cyclical experience, that the more that you operate in this space, this feedback loop of feeling supported, of tapping into a vibrational level that facilitates healing, the more that you can enter that space of the Fool. The Fool operates in the world with a real eyes wide open, just enjoying the experience of life itself. And being able to, the good, the bad, and the ugly, take something from it, learn to grow from it. And bringing that full energy into the 6th house is lovely. It is a difficult house of really, it's a problem solving house, and to have the attitude as a Fool come through for that, particularly as you're going to have Pluto move through there. You know, the work that we're doing with Saturn is really helping facilitate how we move with Pluto's energy. Anyway, Virgo, I really hope that helps, and be well until we meet again.